It's been a obviously an up and down first few weeks for you guys. You guys started hot 4-0. My personal opinion, it felt like you guys were in a really strong a group of teams to start out the season with Hornets, Venom, Mavs, GG, 76ers, and then I think it was Dukes was the other
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
You guys were 4-0 in your first week against those teams. What did you see in the first four matchups from CP and those types of guys? Like, what did you see, and how were you guys so successful?
Well, what I saw from CP and Logic specifically, since they're the rookies of the team, I felt like that first week they played with a lot of poise. They played with a lot of confidence, and like it was great to see how they were performing. Honestly, obviously, like the second week, like you mentioned before, we went 0-4 after going 4-0. But I feel like that's all comes down with the whole learning curve, being in the league, being rookies, not staying too high, but not being too low also. So I feel like that definitely kind of actually helped us, to go through that little losing streak. I feel like it built character for us. It helped us realize, hey, this league is really hard. Obviously you guys started 4-0, but it's really hard to maintain that kind of projection going forward. So, I feel like the way they performed um, throughout their whole first tournament actually was pretty impressive, and I'm proud of those guys for fighting through and everything. I'm proud of where we ended up. Obviously we would have loved to play in this tournament even more going forward, but I feel really strongly about our chances for next tournament and how we can improve on that.
Yeah, and like you said, the second week I went 0-4 after going 4-0. People ask me all the time, what's the difference between the 2K League and the NBA? Not all that different because playing the same team in the second week, obviously adjustments made.
For sure.
What that you saw or tried to prepare for in that second week, it just didn't come out like you saw.
Um, yeah, we understood that, adjustments were definitely going to be made by every team trying to, stop and limit CP specifically. He had a great first week and stuff. So we knew that coming in to the second week that there were definitely going to be some changes and stuff, and they were trying to limit him. And I feel like, just like I mentioned before, it was definitely a little bit of a learning curve for CP specifically, realizing that, people have now film on you, and
Yeah.
there's certain tendencies and stuff that you have to have to alter or avoid and stuff like that. So I feel like after at least the second week we did a pretty good job of realizing what teams were trying to do against CP. Obviously they're trying to limit his rim running and dunk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we felt like we did a better job the following week of just letting CP know, hey man, they're gonna play you like this. They're gonna make sure they take away your strength. So you
Hmm.
just you have to be prepared to do stuff that you might be uncomfortable with, or you might need to work on some other stuff that could help you play in a way where it's not easy to realize what your tendencies are and realize, other teams to game plan for them. So I feel like he did a much better job after that, realizing obviously we beat the Lakers and the Hornets after that. So I feel like we did a better job, at least the following week, of preparing CP for what was to come.
For sure. And then you guys obviously enter bracket play, make it to the second round where you fall. But there was a clip that Grizz Gaming tweeted out where I could hear you in the background on one of the CP plays against the Lakers. You
Mm-hmm.
said, there, that's all we got to do. And that's what I was thinking too when I was watching it because PGs around the league do get the rim runs. That should
Mm-hmm.
kind of 3v3. But I noticed it's a little more in terms of CP. They try to, like, I don't know, force him to shoot.
Yeah.
And time he shot the fade or got open, it's looked like it's gone in every time. So
Mm-hmm.
in terms of his confidence and everything, in terms of shooting the three ball, how have you seen that grow as the early season's gone on?
Yeah, definitely I've seen a lot of growth in that. CP is a really good shooter, like he's just a really smart player in general, he's a little quiet, but he definitely knows everything that's going on the court and off the court, honestly. So he's just really a talented, smart individual. And I feel like he definitely, obviously has a talent to like you said, when he does get an open shot and he takes it, it usually is green. So it's just, trying to nurture him and just continue giving him confidence in terms of just, hey man, you are that guy for us, like you
Yeah.
are a rookie, obviously, but you're definitely the best player on the team and we believe in you. That's why we thought he was the best guard in the draft for a reason. So, we understand like his potential is through the roof. He has a very high ceiling and everything. He just needs to continue showing that on a consistent basis. And that I feel like is definitely gonna help us continue moving forward with him. I feel like as the season goes on, he's gonna be one of those players that keep on getting better and better and better and realizing, hey, I am that guy, and I feel like he's definitely gonna eventually be to the point where he's considered a top 5, top 3 point guard, and I really have that confidence in him. So it just really is just trying to provide him with the best we could, and just in terms of advising him, hey man, like there's gonna be some ups and downs, but you just gotta battle through it, and it's gonna make you a better player and a better person throughout. So I'm really excited to have CP on our team, and I feel like he's definitely gonna be one of those guards that are just gonna keep improving by the day.
Yeah. Without a doubt, you guys obviously made a change going into bracket play.
Mm-hmm.
Add Spartxn to your lineup. What went into that change, and then what did you see? Obviously, there were some really good games in there, and series that you guys put 5. Just didn't
Mm-hmm.
end the outcome that you wanted, but there were some really good games.
Yeah. Spartan is one of those great vocal veterans that we have. The one thing we felt like we were missing with the first lineup was, we didn't really have someone who would be able to communicate and talk the way we felt like we needed that presence on the court, someone who's going to lead us.
Yeah,
Obviously we had with J-Rod, Logic and CP, they're three of the most, they're extremely intelligent, and it's not like they don't talk at all, but they're three of the most quiet guys, out there. So it's like we thought that Spartxn being in that lineup, helping Logic and CP and just advising them, getting on them, showing them the ropes, especially vocally, would help us a little bit more. So, obviously Spartan came in, he did a great job. Honestly, he hit all his shots. He rebounded, defended. He played great for us, So, Spartan being one of those leaders on our team, those vocal leaders, we definitely felt like we needed that. And I was proud of how he stepped up to the plate, because it was pretty tough, like he didn't get to play at all
yeah.
in terms of threes, especially that power forward. So he really impressed me with his willingness to adapt and be able to get on that court and really give us a really big positive push.
One thing I did like that you guys did this offseason was the mixture in the locker room, and then 2 really good rookies that you can wrap your arms around, with experience in terms of having Reese, having Jim Rod, and having Spartxn. How have those guys, in terms of veteran leadership, been, and how has the bounce back been compared to when you were a rookie?
It's been amazing. Obviously, like, we went through that little rough patch in that first tournament, but no one was sulking, no one was getting angry with each other, no one was complaining and trying to like just. It was really one of those moments where we realized we could do better. We have the veteran leadership, as you said, to realize, hey, it's still early, it's still the beginning. There's plenty of 2K left to play. So I felt like we definitely this offseason hit it in the park with the personalities that we've added to this team and stuff like that. It's an amazing, like, we have amazing chemistry on this team. Everybody really likes each other. Everybody generally is friends with each other. We, as usual, again, like I'd be noticing we're one of the few teams that always hang out with each other, no matter where we are, DC, Memphis, stuff like
Yeah,
that. We really bring that family atmosphere around here. And I felt like we really nailed it in the park with all of these guys, from bringing in Reese, one of the not just one of the best shooting guards in 2K, but one of just the best people. I always joke with Reese, with the whole everybody hates Chris, but instead it's everybody loves Reese. He really is one of those guys where people just genuinely love being around him, you know, and he's definitely brought that kind of swagger for us this year. And, you know, with Spartxn and J-Rod, they're veterans, great people, obviously. And CP and Logic, you know, they're definitely gonna be just they're in a position where they don't really have to, they could just be themselves. You know, we're
Yeah,
not asking them to be vocal, crazy leaders. We're not asking them to do something that they're uncomfortable with, you know. We're just
yeah.
asking them to come into work. You know, you guys got great veterans around you. Just, you know, just basically do your job. And I feel like we've definitely hit it on the park this year with just with everything we've done with the draft, with creating this whole family vibe again that we love to have in Memphis and we usually do have. So I'm really proud of all of those guys, and we're just going to continue to get better.
And in terms, since I've been covering you guys, since you've been here, so, yeah, uh, and some lane's been pretty heavy on his in terms of that balance between grinding in practice and grinding games, and then getting outside of the office and getting off the game. How has it been just going to Grizzlies games this year, and obviously last year, but really this year, and spending that time with the guys and seeing the Grizzlies on the court? What is your take on this year's Memphis Grizzlies, and how fun has it been to witness and maybe even see a big playoff run while you're in the?
It's been amazing. You know, obviously, you know, me being here almost 6 years, basically, I've really learned to really love the Grizzlies. I've been to so much games, obviously this year too. Just, you know, with Lang and the whole Grizz organization just always hooking us up with that. We're obviously extremely grateful. Not a lot of teams have that access to that, being able to go to every game. So, you know, top notch there, obviously you know, with our organization there. And it's definitely been really fun. It's you know, the Memphis Grizzlies are the number 2 seed. They're definitely hooping. Ja's back, obviously, and he's been definitely hooping as usual, as expected from Ja. So, like, it's been so fun watching this team. They're definitely one of the most fun teams to watch in the NBA. You know, it's been great with their chemistry, with everything. So, it's been amazing ride having to get a chance to watch the Grizzlies all the time. You know, I'm obviously I love the Grizzlies now, so I'm always cheering for them. So it's been great having them, you know, doing so well and really pushing for that, you know. And I feel like they're gonna make a really good deep playoff run. They definitely have the talent and they definitely have the chemistry for that. So I'm excited to continue, you know, going to these games and maybe hoping having a chance to go to a playoff game here and there. But
Yeah.
I'm really cheering for those Grizzlies, and I really hope they go far.
And looking ahead to the switch, obviously, you guys will be back in action on April 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in terms of making adjustments and kind of looking at what you guys did in the slam, I will almost mess that up. In terms of the slam, you guys obviously have some adjustments and things that you guys can improve on. But you were in the trenches. You're looking ahead. You got some really good opponents in the switch. Looking ahead, what are your goals? Where do you want to see this team get better?
Um, you know, obviously, I feel like we have to get better at just continuing that, having that consistency every week. You know, like one week we look like the best team in the 2K league. The next week we look pretty bad. So I feel like it's just really trying to continue to grow, continue to adapt, continue to have that moment where we realize, hey, you know, this is obviously it's threes. It's really difficult to win threes. Anything can happen. There's a lot of stuff that just fluke stuff that could happen that, you know, we realize that could be out of our control. So all we're doing is trying to pay attention to the stuff that we could control, you know, being able to rotate, being able to make sure that we're hitting our shots, being able to make sure that we have movement going and we just have that chemistry going just in terms of everybody knowing what the other is thinking on the court, you know. So, and as soon as we keep getting that chemistry down, because this is a lot of like all of our guys, this is their first time playing with each other, you know, this whole first tournament and stuff like that. So I
For
feel
sure.
like as the tournaments continue to go on, I feel like we're definitely gonna have that moment where we realize, hey, like we do got it, you know, now we understand what CP is thinking on the court. Now we understand what Spartxn or Logic might be thinking on the court and stuff like that. So just a little stuff just in terms of just being consistent, I feel like is what we really got to work on. And I feel like we're definitely going to get there.
In terms of like, obviously Reese hasn't played, and this is more me asking you, formats change. You got 3v3 condensed and then move to 5v5. Reese obviously won't play a game until 5v5 unless you work shuffle the roster a few times here and there. Is that a possibility, or is that something that you're just like, I'm gonna hold on to Reese until 5v5?
I mean, Reese is just one of those players who's just down with whatever is going right. You know, whatever we feel the best lineup is, he's always just going to be on board. He's just one of those unselfish people who, you know, he like you say, he hasn't gone on the court yet, but he's been first every single day in practice, every coming in, shooting around, always early, always supportive. He's just been a great leader throughout the whole process, you know. And he realizes, and we all realize too, like even if he's not playing, we still believe he's the best shooting guard in the world. You know, it's just threes is a little bit much different than fives, obviously. So, but we feel like we have a great person who could come into threes if we really need to and play all three positions: guard, lock, and power forward. One of those real rare, versatile players that can do it all. So, you know, like Reese has definitely been just great off the court, you know, and you never know. I'm sure he's definitely going to get the chance to, you know, really showcase his skill on the court sometime soon. And I'm really proud of like what Reese has done for our team, and I'm really looking forward to really seeing Reese shine.
Awesome. I was more asking in terms of like reps. Obviously, we got a month until 5v5 starts. That's one reason I was asking. I didn't know if the builds were different than 5v5. The game mode was a little different, that type of thing. That's why I was asking. I wasn't trying to get any kind of intel. I was more just like,
Yeah.
I talked about Spartxn earlier, kind of jumping in, you know, spur of the moment. So I was just thinking, man, that's all I got. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you, Brendan. Appreciate you.